This is going to be a how-to for how to disassemble and replace the front glass on your HTC Rezound. As you might be able to see, I've done this already, and I need to put my power and lock button back in. So that's why I'm taking it apart again, and it shouldn't take as long this time because I've already removed most of the adhesive, so when you do it, it might take longer. And right now I have to use a screwdriver to turn my phone on and off. So that's what you got. Sorry about that, guys. Push up there, in my case. Power off. And as you can see, there's some dust. That's why I'm taking it apart again. This is what you'll need, is a small Torx screwdriver. If you get the right kit on eBay, it'll come with that. A plastic spudger tool, and then also a small flathead screwdriver and a small Phillips head screwdriver come in handy, but they're not 100% necessary. So now let's get to taking this bad boy apart. First, take off the back case, take out the battery, take out the SIM card, take out the micro SD card. These are all things that you want to make sure you know where they are, so you don't have trouble finding them again when you're trying to reassemble the phone. And next, there are 6 screws there, up there, over here, and right there. There. That one has a warranty void sticker on it, so if you do try this, your warranty is void. If you still have a warranty, or whatever happens there, there's now no warranty on your phone when you take apart and take out that screw, which is necessary. So now let me get to that. And another note, you should have something similar to this, or some way to hold the screws so you don't lose them. Yeah, a magnetic screwdriver definitely comes in handy for this, to get them out easier. But it's a pain when trying to get it off. Okay, next use your plastic spudger or flathead screwdriver to pry this back case from the motherboard. This can take a while because the keys in there are quite tight. And also stuff like the volume button falls out. That's not a big deal, that's normal. They're quite easy to put back in. But getting this case apart can be quite a pain. Don't worry, you're not breaking anything. These clips are just extremely stiff. And there we go, there's the back cover. And there's the volume button. It falls out. Just keep it in with your screws, and you won't have anything to worry about. So there's the motherboard. Here is the camera, which is loose for some reason. So be careful when you're putting it back together. And then there are your 2 flash modules. This sometimes pops out. It did the first time, but it just pops right back in. There's no problem with that. Also, most people say to remove the vibrator motor. You don't have to do that. You just have to actually completely unplug it. You really just have to remove it from its housing. And you can leave it plugged into the motherboard. There's no point in taking it off. Now is when you need your small Phillips head screwdriver to get at the one screw that is up here. The other one, which is right about there. Also, don't get the screw holes mixed up for the flat. Also, don't get the Phillips head screw holes mixed up with those for the Torx on the outside, because it just causes problems. So just check with, just mock up this back case over here, and then you'll be able to tell where your Phillips head screws go. And now this basically just pops right off. You might have a little more work to do, but this part pops right off. Down here you have 2 ribbon cables. This one runs the digitizer, and this one runs the screen itself. So be very careful of those, and you have to flip that to get them out. Yes, be very careful with this, because if they break, you're really in trouble. Just put as little stress on them as possible. And boom, there you go. There's the motherboard of your phone, completely out and free. Now we have just the screen. Actually, let's zoom out more. Now we have just the screen of the phone. Also, another thing you'll lose is this little metal piece that goes on the charging port. Just make sure to put that back in. I'm not sure if it grounds it or not, but it's important to put it back in, so don't lose that either. Now you need to pry this apart, which is always fun. That's what your hairdryer is for. It's not plugged in, so I'm going to go plug that in. I actually got very lucky. There wasn't enough adhesive, and I can just pry it apart. So I'm going to do that now. Be very careful of this. You don't want to break, you don't want to crack the screen or crack the glass again. And be careful of the ribbon cables also, because if they tear, you need to get a new LCD or a new glass or both. Just be very careful to pry it apart. See, there's, oops. See right there, there's the adhesive I'm talking about. If you're like me and you haven't put the adhesive back on, this will basically just come undone as long as you remove this. This ribbon cable is attached to the back of the LCD. Be very careful of that. You don't want it tearing. And there's a little piece of tape on it. Flip up. Boom. Fixed. Out. Done. There's a piece of black tape running along right there. That's what holds the two together. So just spin it that way. And then gently pull it apart. Now make sure your LCD is good and clean. Also check this side. Also check your glass, make sure there's no dust on the inside of that, because you'll also be able to see that. Okay, now you're ready to put on new glass, or if you just anywhere to clean it, slap that glass back on like so. Make sure the screens are good and straight. It's not. Don't do what I just did, putting the screen upside down. It's an epic fail. There you go. Screen in like that. So the ribbon connectors are as far apart from each other as possible. Reattach this ribbon cable back here. Attach it down like that. Try to find the glue again. Be gentle with it so you don't crack anything. And there we go. Now you can put this back in here. Again, Again, careful with the ribbon cables. Make sure you get through their well-defined spots. And very carefully ease the front panel of the screen back in place. Alright, there we go. Screen's all back in. It's going to be a little bit of a pain, be careful. And just know that if you take off these little white things, you won't get any backlight underneath your buttons, but to me that's not really a big deal, and they're too much of a pain to get it correct anyway, so just be careful with that. But the buttons still work without this. I've already used it without the search button. It works, there's no trouble. You just don't get any backlight. So there's that. And now for what I consider to be one of the hardest parts, which is getting these ribbon cables reattached to the motherboard. They're so dang small. Yikes. Okay, it's all connected. Motherboard is reattached to the screen. My screen feels like it's popping already. Oh, motherboard's reattached to the screen. It's all doing just fine again. Now for the fun part, which is getting these little volume control, power button, all that stuff seated back where it's supposed to go, and then getting the screen and then getting the red piece back on. Which I'm probably going to have to do off camera also, but I'll try to do it on camera. Alright, now I'm back again. There you go, the back cover is back on. One of the hardest things to do is to line up the camera module, because for some reason it moves around, so it's hard to keep that right underneath. As you might be able to see, the power button is back in. It does work. The volume buttons over here too. They work also. And then down here we have our charging port and the metal covers on that. So now all that's left to do is put in the SIM card, put in the micro SD card, put in the battery, put on the back plate, and try to turn her on, and hope and pray that she works. Alright, the moment of truth. And there we go. Turned on. Good as new. Except these bottom buttons don't have any light, but that's a small price to pay for having a working screen. See, there are little lights, but they don't come with the actual button. And there we go. She works. Good as new. Now it's time to get an OtterBox case. And that's going to be set for the rest of its life. The home buttons still work even though the lights don't. It's not a big deal. Multi-touch works. She's good as new. Alright, thanks guys for watching. And if you had the same problem, I hope I helped you out. Peace. Peace. Stealing from Soldier Knows Best, but I will.